Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković was in Slovenia today for a Southeast European Cooperation Process summit. Regional leaders discussed security, the strengthening of political dialogue, and synergy in the energy sector. The Prime Minister spoke briefly with his Slovenian counterpart, Miro Cerar, regarding Slovenia's territorial claims against Croatia, as well as their refusal to respect a court ruling to pay back foreign currency deposits to Croatian nationals who had savings in Slovenia prior to the fall of the former Yugoslavia.
Slovenia launched a procedure with the European Commission dealing with the border arbitration to which Croatia has responded, and the Commission will hold a hearing of sorts on the issue next week. We believe that a new legal process is not the solution for unresolved bilateral issues. And as far as the court rulings regarding Ljubljanska banka, I think we all have to respect the rule of law. We continue to maintain our same position. Countries that do not respect the rule of law, especially those who are EU members, give a bad picture of the whole Union. It also sets a bad example for the countries of the Western Balkans. At the same time, this problem has a direct and negative effect on the Schengen area, which happens to be the shared border between our two countries.
Also at the summit in Slovenia, the Prime Minister met with the chairman of the Council of Ministers of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Denis Zvizdic, to discuss his country's opposition to the Pelješac Bridge project.
I spoke with Prime Minister Plenković about my upcoming visit to Croatia. At that time, we will discuss all of our open issues, and not just the Pelješac Bridge, but also nuclear waste disposal. This will be an excellent chance for us to finally define a model that will ensure a mutually acceptable solution. The Bosphorus Bridge, which you must pass under to reach the Black Sea, is 64 meters high. The one we are building will be 55 meters high. I honestly cannot imagine a vessel that would not be able to pass under a bridge that is 283 meters wide and 55 meters tall. I cannot see how maritime traffic or any other kind of traffic between Neum and the open seas can be hindered in any way. No legitimate problems exist whatsoever.
In economic news, the Ministry of Regional Development and EU Funds opened the 6th annual EU Funds Week. The goal is to inform the public of the possibilities and benefits of using European structural and investment funds. Agriculture Minister Tomislav Tolušić underlined the major improvement in funding support since the current government came to power.
The Rural Development Program came into effect in February 2015, and this government came to power in October of 2016. So during that year and a half, 1,500 projects worth €43.5 million were initiated. Today, another year and a half since then, when we talk about rural development, 8,500 new projects have been approved, worth close to €650 million. I think we can all see a significant improvement in this regard, and more importantly, improvements are evident on the ground throughout the various counties.
In more economic news, Deputy Prime Minister and Economy Minister Martina Dalic met earlier today with the directors of Agricor's food and retail companies. The aim of the meeting was to discuss preparations for the upcoming tourism season. For their part, company directors underlined the lack of workers in both the retail and transportation sectors. President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović said that Croatia had no alternative but to block Serbian Defense Minister Aleksandar Vulin from entering the country, given his recent rhetoric and provocations. She added, however, that the two countries have no choice but to continue to cooperate. She also said she hoped the visit by Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić would go forward as planned. In collaboration with international crime-fighting efforts, Croatian police and the USKOK Anti-Corruption and Organized Crime Office have arrested more than 20 suspected members of a human trafficking ring accused of illegally transporting some 200 foreigners into Croatian territory from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
We are dealing with individuals who are suspected of participating in organized illegal human trafficking activities since the beginning of the year between the territories of Bosnia and Herzegovina and Croatia towards the rest of the European Union.
Greenpeace held a small demonstration in front of the Ministry of Environmental Protection and Energy this morning. The environmentalists are hoping to convince the government to speed up the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources, such as solar power.
This is a final warning call for the Ministry of Energy to finally rediscover solar power. They must allow citizens to produce their own energy because this will reduce Croatia's energy imports as well as lower people's electricity bills and lessen the overall environmental impact. Croatia is a tourist country, and if we want to preserve our natural beauty, we must get rid of projects that pollute, including the proposed LNG terminal.
Taking a quick look at sports, Dražen Anzulović will become the new head coach of the Croatian national basketball team. The 50-year-old has extensive national and international experience after leading both Cibona and Cedevita, as well as a recent coaching stint in China. Croatia still hopes to play in the 2019 World Championships, despite 3 losses and only 1 win so far in qualifications. The team plays Italy next on June 28th in Trieste. In tennis, 39-year-old Croatian veteran Ivo Karlovic fell short of the round of 16 at the ATP 500 Series tournament in Barcelona after losing to Spaniard Roberto Bautista in 3 sets this afternoon. The weather forecast for tomorrow calls for mostly sunny skies with morning fog in places. Brief isolated showers are possible in southern Dalmatia and eastern Slavonia after midday. A weak to moderate southwesterly and southeasterly wind is expected along the Adriatic coast. Southeasterly winds in the far south could usher in fog and low-lying clouds, especially in the early morning. Morning lows of 11 to 16 degrees around the country and slightly lower and higher elevations and the Dalmatian hinterland will give way to highs of 22 to 27 degrees Celsius. Increased cloud cover will move in on Thursday in the interior, bringing isolated showers, especially during the second half of the day. A moderate northeasterly wind could lead to a slightly lower temperature. Friday will also be cooler but mostly dry. Saturday looks to be sunnier and warm, but with the possibility of afternoon showers. The Adriatic coast will be sunny and dry over the next few days. Weak southeasterly winds in the far south will continue to bring morning fog until Friday. Winds in the north will turn on Friday and come in out of the northeast. More clouds are expected on Saturday as a moderate southeasterly wind moves in. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow night.